guys. It's Cinco de Mayo. I think that's a Mexican thing. I don't know, whatever. But
Or Revenge of the Fifth.
Revenge of the Fifth.
But
Um,
Cinco de Mayo is actually a Mexican holiday. Yeah, something happened there.
so our first podcast of the month of May. It's gorgeous out. We have a new microphones. Apparently, you couldn't hear me last time, so now I deal with this in front of my face. Um, yeah. So, what's going on in Timmins this week? Quite a bit, apparently.
Yeah, lots of things going on there. Uh, where do we even start with that? What happened with the unicorn man?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we told you to take a picture with the mayor last week, and this got posted onto our great Timmins Ontario page.
That's right.
So I didn't get to look through it all, but apparently over 200 comments. A lot of them calling out the mayor for wasting his time taking a picture with the unicorn guy, whatever. Um, so I guess you singled out a few people and they got upset about it. Like he came and started posting and
They had a big
like
conversation there.
defended himself and whatever, and like saying it's only been 30. It was only 30 seconds of my day. The unicorn guy makes people smile, made me smile. It's a good thing for our community. And then whatever. And some people were upset by that. So should the mayor, should the council be on Facebook? Should they be on Timmins, Ontario, contending with all the awesome people on the page?
Well, there's it's good to be engaged with the society and with the people, so that's definitely a good thing. But it just depends what point you want to go to with that. Like gotta be like some limits on what's done on social media. I mean, there's social responsibility there, but I mean, as long as you're what do you guys think?
Like for me, yeah, it's a great it's 2015. Everyone's mom and their grandma's on Facebook now. That you've got to be able to talk to people on social media. So I think it's a good thing that he's on social media. Whether he should have singled out this one person or multiple people over comments that they made, maybe not. Like maybe he should have a bit of a tougher skin. But at the same time, I mean, people on I'm sure the people on Timmins, Ontario would complain that he wasn't on social media
That's
if he
true.
didn't.
That's
He
true
didn't
in
talk.
this day and age, I suppose. But if you think about it, like when Tom was here, people wouldn't really. When Tom was the mayor, we had Tom as the mayor. I don't think he was too active on social media. People didn't really expect it then, but I guess with Steve being younger and everything, there's like kind of an
Yeah.
expectation that he's kind of on social media. It would be weird for him not to be. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I would I like that he's on social media. I don't really um I'm one of those people that barely makes phone calls, I guess, it's
yeah,
for good or for bad. But I talk to a lot of people on Twitter, on Facebook, even text messaging. Like my outgoing counselor, I talk to him through email and call him, but I don't know. They might have called him the old school. I don't know. Another. Anyways, yes, but so yeah. What do you guys think? Like Sam said,
yeah. Let us know. I mean, we like to know those things. We like to know what people think about those things, and we think it's good to get that discussion going about stuff like that.
yeah. Well, I mean, it could help bring involvement to people that aren't usually involved in the political conversation.
Exactly, and that's maybe another way to appeal to a different demographic there with through social media, and
Mm.
but that's then that becomes political too. Is you could like if you start every person that posts something negative about Timmins on social media, if the mayor personally answers to that, then he's gonna have a busy day, every
Yeah,
day,
that's true.
and he's not gonna. like get other stuff done. I think so. I mean, if he, the fact that he picks and chooses kind of where to,
Yeah, that's kind
that's
of my
what the
big thing. But yeah, so like, but it'd be the same thing as if he chose to like answer certain emails or
that's
certain
true. I
letters,
suppose
like. So
certain phone calls.
it's not necessarily a social media thing for me in that. Other than the fact that on social media it's just out there that everyone can see and read.
There's this whole like weird barrier between business and social media, between like social media as being a personal thing and social media as being more of a business thing. Like they're two, it's kind of like they're almost two different things, but because you have to approach them differently if you're like a politician or if you have some sort of role that like in public life, you have to approach social media differently than if you're not involved in public life. I,
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, they're doing a whole course at my place of employment about that logical code. More to come. I don't know if you guys want to like sign up at logicalcode.com or give us a call.
are they on Twitter? Is your work
They're
on
on
Twitter?
Twitter, yeah, on Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube, I think as well, not as active, and possibly Instagram.
There you go. Maybe
Yeah,
check that out.
I know they want to at some point. So but a good thing about unicorns,
Good thing about unicorn.
about social media is like, well, like the unicorn guy, he like obviously he's not all about social media. He's going around town, making kids smile, whatever. Making my girlfriend smile. She loves unicorns. She just wants to see him around, whatever. And yeah, I don't know. Is he really like? Did he really waste the mayor's time? Like, half a minute of time.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
that's
like how much time have we just spent talking about it? How much time have all the
We're
people
wasting
commenting on it? Like
your time if you're looking at that. If you're looking at it that way.
So yeah, I don't know. Good, but stuff. If you see the unicorn around, take a picture, post it in our comments somewhere, tweet us.
Tweet that, yeah. We'll post the picture of you with the unicorn man on our Twitter feed.
All right. So something a little bit more serious
Yeah,
that went down. We don't know all the details, so we can't say like the definitive, right? Like it's not gone through court or anything. But on Friday night, I was on my way up here from south, like up to Timmins to go to the movies to see Avengers. From Timmins to South Porcupine, and we got turned into Schumacher, taking a detour. We didn't know what was going on. I guess like a van went through on Little Pearl Lake. That's like right like past the Mac,
or
right?
is it
Like
past
near
the
like
Mac?
Jiffy Lube there.
Yeah,
Near Jiffy Lube on Algonquin or River.
it's Algonquin.
River 101.
There.
Some local heroes tried to dive in and go save the person, but the guy succumbed to his injuries, and we found out later that two other people were dead in their homes.
Yeah,
I think they found out Friday night or Saturday morning. Now they're thinking there might be a link between them.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you want to elaborate on that?
I mean, you have to look at what's in the newspaper, but apparently it might be a son and mother-father incident. From what I heard, is a 23-year-old gentleman. I don't want to speculate on what happened really because we don't have the details, but apparently it was his parents also. So it's a tragic time for that family, I'm sure, and our sympathies go out to them.
From again, that's just hearsay. I hear that he might have been suffering from
mental illness.
Mental illness.
But
again, that's just hearsay. We don't know the real details. Just thought we'd get some news. It's not really often that you hear that kind of stuff in Timmins.
No, it's really not. So, I mean, we just wanted to shed some light on that for those of you that may not have really read into it much.
Oh, that's Timmins. Oh, all right. I got another one on the Timmins, Ontario page. All right, so
Okay.
my my buddy Derek came to work today, and I guess speaking of the mayor and city council and Timmins, Ontario, and how people like to complain, I guess in the budget we see that the city has allocated somewhere near $120,000
For computer
for computers like
applications.
Microsoft. They said specifically Microsoft. So Derek's our tech guy. I hope he doesn't mind me dropping his name here. I guess he got into a pretty heated argument with some members on the Timmins, Ontario. I think one guy in particular saying, like, well, why don't we just switch to a free office software and that'll save us $124 or $124,000.
Well, right. Like open office and stuff like that does not. You can't.
Yeah,
I guess
open
you could-
office is the way he was suggesting. It was an open office. It's a free office program. It opens like
But
Word, like
I-
Microsoft doc files.
I guess the one way you can do it is with a Linux operating system.
Yeah.
If you had a Linux specialist
the thing
for
is,
cheaper.
yeah. See, I actually brought that up to Derek, and I think other people posted about it too. But then you're looking at the cost of switching everything over, right? So it's not just Office, right? It's like all their
It's the operating
servers,
system.
it's all their workstations.
true.
Not just at City Hall, like let's say at the Sportsplex, at Public Works,
Even the
wherever
transit
it is.
station,
The
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah,
Timmins
probably.
Transit,
Yeah. So, but if you're switching it to Linux,
Economic
and
development.
as a developer, for me, I'm like, yeah, Linux is cool, right? Like, Linux is awesome. But he made a good few points to me, like, well, you know what? It's gonna cost you more than $100,000 to convert everything, to buy, because you have to replace some hardware. You have to convert all your. Well, I don't know. I guess you could use Windows workstations and connect to a Linux server, but then there's issues connecting to the email server or whatever, like the Exchange server. I just thought it was funny because Derek's like an expert. He's got like 15 years experience, and he's arguing with this guy, telling them to use Open Office for for like a whole entire city's server to use Open Office.
Yeah.
And then I guess a few other guys that work like in our industry came on and just like started giving her two on the page. Like I think the guy that runs the page, the Timmins, Ontario page, Paul there, and I don't know. I just thought it was a quite comical way to start my day today, because Derek's probably the last guy I would argue with over that kind of stuff. So
Fair enough.
All right. So anything else you hear going on in Timmins? You see anything else on the Timmins, Ontario page? Other than the cop with the busted back window there.
Back window, yeah. I saw that. No, I haven't really been on that page today. I mean, to be honest. What was on Twitter? This is some... Let's see what's on Twitter. Hashtag Timmins.
Hashtag Timmins. All right, what else is going on in Timmins? Oh, here's more pictures of the unicorn dude. Can you see that? Probably not.
Oh, can't see it. We tried that before. Hashtag Timmins. Let's see.
Oh, this guy got a picture with the unicorn. Oh.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you noticed Sam's eye here.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of recovering a little bit.
It's probably like fine now. There.
But we had kind of an inter-office laser tag. I'd call it a match, but it was more of a demolition. So it was Logical Code, which is my workplace, against the Venture Center, where Sam works.
It was a lot of fun though. I did get injured, which was unfortunate. So it happened right at the start.
My coworker Byron got him right in the side of the eye with his gun there.
Hey, Byron. I know you're listening.
He's probably listening. He's one of our subscribers. Probably a future guest on the show.
Well, we're definitely going to have a rematch at laser tag. That's going to be fun. We're going to be more prepared there. These guys, as you might have seen on your Twitter feed, had the whole strategic planning going on the morning before there. They had X's on people's faces. They had a whole plan there. So next time, we'll be prepared.
Well, I thought you guys would have a plan considering the owner of laser tag is your boss, but
That is true.
Happen.
That is true, but she claims she hasn't played in a few years. I don't know how true that is. I'm just saying what she said.
Kind of believe that considering half the time I'd get like 3 or 4 of you all bunched up.
I didn't know the chorus at all, and I couldn't see half. I could only half see it was going through like this there.
But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
It was fun.
If you want to have fun or a good way to spend a birthday party or something, check out Neo Laser Tag.
Yeah, they even have a cotton candy machine.
They have a cotton candy machine. They have go-karts. They have mini putt.
Bumper cars,
Oh yeah, bumper cars. Yeah. I don't know. I always get those two mixed up for some reason.
They have a bunch of arcade games there too.
Arcade games, and there's a little kids zone too. So.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's like up around like if you go behind the front desk there. But yeah, that's on Algonquin.
And what is it? Is it Tok? It's not Tok, but it's the street that goes to Tok by the subway. You guys, if you guys live in Timmins, you know what I'm talking about.
If not, then just Google it. They have a website made by the awesome company Logical Code.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna talk about how it's spring and now there's sand all over the roads and everything. So I remember a conversation we had there in the wintertime. We were arguing that we should have salt instead of sand on the roads, or the opposite, sand instead of salt. That's what you were claiming, and you're saying,
yeah, for sure.
So you see, salt kind of just goes back to the earth.
Oh, I'm sure it does some damage, like to
salt.
Yeah,
it comes from the earth and it goes back to
so
the earth.
So does oil, but when it spills onto the earth, it doesn't.
That's different. Oil and salt are the same.
But like you can't grow crops with salt water, so I'm sure like there's some sort of environmental repercussions using salt.
They don't go that far.
My big thing is like salt. Like in the winter, I know we don't want to talk about winter. It's gorgeous out there, but in the winter, salt works when like it melts the ice or whatever, except when it's actually really cold, right? Like, because all it does is bring the melting point of the water up.
But then if it's on a road, then there's friction between the tires and the salt and the ice, and then it's warmer and then it melts the ice. Yeah,
unless it's like -40. But it doesn't actually like do anything to solve the first problem, which is you're not getting any traction on this.
It does.
Well, once it's melted, but like as soon as you put salt,
it's still big.
Yeah. Like, but it's not like sand. Like, it just gives you traction the whole time. Plus the salt also like rusts the bottom of your car.
The sand dirties it, and if you don't clean it, it will like deteriorate it eventually.
Yeah, okay, but I think the salt goes a little bit faster. Like I went to an auction a few years ago, and like we were just like a car auction.
Yeah. Out in Winchester.
In Winchester, and you look. Well, actually, we didn't go to the auction. I don't think, because I was in Ottawa with you. But anyways,
I went with you once.
You look at the bottom of the cars and everything, and like the cars from Quebec go for more because they don't use salt on their roads.
Fair enough. But then what about cleaning up the salt, and then the city having to pay to clean up the salt in the summertime?
So you're right. Like they there's no cleanup obviously in the summertime because the salt just kind of goes away. But then you have to get new salt next year when you can.
Do they actually reuse it?
With sand, I don't know if Timmins does, but some places do.
That's pretty
pick
smart.
up the sand and reuse it, and then you don't have to buy it every year. And I think Ontario is one of the only provinces that doesn't use salt. or that does use salt. Sorry, but in Quebec, I guess the trade off is that like it's mandatory to have winter tires.
Okay.
So I guess the trade off is that because
That's true, yeah. Yeah.
because you're still leaving some ice on the road or whatever. But everyone has winter
I've
tires there.
always thought that's a pretty good law to have winter tires.
Yeah, I would agree too. Because even
here in Canada,
because even here in Timmins, like I mean, even with winter tires, sometimes it's a bitch driving around. So, like for safety reasons, winter tires probably wouldn't be a bad idea. And plus, like, then you don't use your summer tires.
That's true. Another pair of tires. All right, so yeah, Timmins, Ontario hashtag. There's a lot of jobs out there. If you ever want to look for jobs, put in hashtag Timmins on
what's that?
Downtown Timmins clean sweep. Let's see about this. This is what made me think of this, actually, I believe. And we're talking about a clean sweep. Oh,
so join a cleanup of the downtown area to complement the city efforts. Levert Personal Resources Limited will be cleaning downtown parking lots on Wednesday, May 6th. We hope that other downtown businesses will join the effort in cleaning in front of their buildings Wednesday to Friday. Let's get ready for summer.
All right, we'll tweet that. We'll put that on our Twitter for you.
Tweeting right now. You're actually live. Well, you can't see it.
Before even.
We're tweeting from the TV during the recording of the podcast. That's a good idea, though, right? Like, you know, it's our city. We can keep it clean, and you want to keep it beautiful, right? Like, why leave
all the sand,
all the garbage? Man, I was actually the other day. We went for a walk. I just brought a garbage bag, walking around Porcupine, but it's crazy, man. Like the amount of garbage that is fucking Tim Hortons cups.
That's like true, eh? Yeah, there's a lot of Timmins cups.
It's always like Timmins. You know, I just found out last week you could bring your own cup to Timmins.
You didn't know that?
10 cents off.
I do that all the time.
And then it stays warm way freaking longer, and you're doing a little bit of a better thing for the environment, not or for the beauty of Timmins, not throwing your cup.
No, definitely a good idea. The reason I let out a sigh is because I thought to myself, I should have done that. I have a Timmins cup right here. I should have brought my cup. It's kind of a pain in the drive-through. That's the only thing.
I usually like to go in though, so like I don't.
I go to the one here. It's kind of a pain to go in there on
in the parking lot.
In the parking lot
that's where I go.
Life. Yeah,
that's where I go. That's one near my work.
Oh yeah, if you walk there, it's not too bad.
But yeah. Anyways, that's a good idea.
Good idea.
I actually went to Subway too. They have a Keurig machine, which is kind of bad because of those pod things. But I brought my own coffee cup there too.
Any place, Christopher's will do it. Like Coffee Warehouse. That's just what you just go in with your cup and whatever. But
it's a great idea. Just like just like the reusable grocery bags or whatever. You know, it's just one little step that we can do. Yeah. And it's not even just combating like the bigger problem of climate change or the environment. It's actually helping keep your city clean or
that's true.
Your office clean,
lots
whatever.
Lots of Timmins cups everywhere. Another thing here on from Timmins today that they tweeted. It looks like there might be a strike.
A strike?
Yeah, a strike for public school teachers. District School Board, Ontario Northeast.
Holy shit.
And if it does happen, it will start May 10th. It doesn't mean yet that it's going to happen. It says it's not necessarily going to happen. Here's what it says. The purpose of this letter is to update District School Board, Ontario Northeast families on the status of labor negotiations with elementary teachers. We know that as parents, it's important for you to know how the situation may affect your children, so I'm writing to provide you with an update. At the Provincial Central Bargaining Table, the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario filed for conciliation and made the request for a no board report. On April 24, 2015, ETFO announced that they are in receipt of a no board report. As such, elementary teachers across the province are in a legal strike position as of May 10th, 2015.
So that was boring.
Yeah,
Well, this means that they're in labor negotiations. They're between the union and the school board, and it's not going well. They don't have a
pretty much. So there might be a strike. Check the media. Timmins Today, I'm sure, will keep you updated on that. You could look on Twitter, hashtag Timmins, or just search up Timmins Today.
So this
we'll also tweet this thing out here. Might as well.
The unions. So what do you think about unions?
Unions. Me? What do I think about unions? I think they're good.
Even when they're stopping kids from going to school?
Well, it's not necessarily the union. Like, that's the thing. It could be that they're not getting paid fairly by the government. I don't know enough about the situation to really shed light on that, but like it's a battle between being paid fairly to do the job that you want.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily pay. It could be like benefits.
That's true. It could be lots of things.
Could be layoffs, or I don't know, whatever. Any kind of
cuts to education programs and stuff.
Austerity.
So, like in Montreal, I guess that would have been the student union. Student federation.
But they had some teachers with them too. They had some teachers on their side. I don't think in any official kind of way that a union would have been involved. But what about these protests this weekend? It wasn't just Friday. It wasn't just students. It was like
it was anti-capitalism.
Yeah, it was like Workers' Day or whatever they call it, May Day. Eh?
Yeah.
So, actually, one of the articles I read was actually pretty funny. It's just like they start talking about the protests. So there's another protest in Montreal. Surprise! It's another protest in Montreal. So they started off and they said, as is the custom, the protest was deemed illegal right away. As is the custom in Montreal, they brought in the riot squads. It was actually, from what I've seen, it was actually pretty peaceful until the police.
Wait, I have a question. Are those people thugs?
Well, I don't know. I don't think they were black, so.
Well, there must be some black people in there. There's just the black people are thugs. Is that what's going on? That's the way to determine it. If you look at the two situations, Baltimore, Montreal.
I didn't hear the word thug anywhere in the Montreal.
They're parallels. Like, it's the same sort of situation, fighting for rights in their society. And you label them differently. Why are those people thugs and those people are just students that want a better education? They're not even dying. They just want a better education. And they're pulling this rioting, like they're doing the same sort of rioting as they're doing in Baltimore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if like cars got broken and stuff in Montreal. I don't know.
That stuff happens in Montreal. You don't. Okay. You might not see it much on the news.
That's the thing too, right? The media coverage of it. So the media coverage, there's 10,000 people protesting in Baltimore, and 100 of them are flipping cars.
They're still.
And who do you see on the news? You see the thugs flipping cars and this mom beating her son. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. The media kind of portrays them both differently. So anyway, a peaceful protest.
What was the hashtag for that? Manifeste cool.
So yeah, this time the students had some backup. They had other people on their sides. For some reason, still not the cops whose pensions are being cut from those austerity measures. Sorry, I guess we should give a little bit context there. In Montreal, they're protesting government cuts made by or proposed by the government. Like, if you haven't listened to the other podcasts, you wouldn't know.
It's French.
So far, it was only students. This time they had unions and I'm not sure who else. They had some unions.
Lots of members of the public.
And just general members of the public. but still not the cops whose pensions are also being affected on this. So I don't know. But anyways, the riot gear came out, the pepper spray came out. Um,
Okay,
just
this is interesting. On May Day, a gentleman from Rouen, Noranda, which is pretty close to here. It's about an hour and a half.
2 minutes, 2 hours.
They have a tenants association for the region of Abitibi Témiscamingue, and he's the coordinator of that tenants association. And his name is Bruce Gervais, and he got arrested for taking part in the protests in Montreal. Let's see if there's anything else here any more details.
All I see is multiple charges.
Multiple charges. Does it say anything about the charges?
No, I don't think so, man.
All right. Well, we'll post a link there. It's in French, but for those of you who speak French, check it out.
It is Quebec after all. But anyways, this protest and the protests in Baltimore, I saw a lot more news coverage on. So I saw like the violence of some of the rioters and the violence of the police. Like the police were pretty okay. Here's the thing to me. I think I said it in the last podcast. The whole thing kicked off because Freddie Gray died in police custody because of police mistreating him. Actually, we got more details now. They say that it was in the van. He was put in the back of a van, handcuffed, but no seatbelt.
No seatbelt. There was an
they drove around. Sorry.
There's an article saying somebody just pointed out the fact that people you could get charged for not wearing a seatbelt, sort of thing, but yet the police just throw this guy in the back of a van. What about safety? Come on.
Yeah. So he sustained injuries and asked the officers to bring him to the hospital or contact 911 or whatever. Well, they are supposed to be 911. Anyways, the van kept driving around for another half an hour, 45 minutes. They actually responded to another call with him back there, and he died. Okay, good thing that came out of this in Baltimore. What was her name? Attorney? No, not the attorney general.
The mayor?
The state's the attorney for the state. Anyways, the top lawyer in Maryland, which is the state that Baltimore
Attorney General.
The Attorney General.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, she filed charges against
The
5 or
police
6 officers. One of them actually being second-degree murder and some manslaughter charges as
And
well.
they all posted bail, and it amounted to something about the total amounted to be something like $600,000 or something. But yet, young black gentleman who assisted in burning a police car, his bail alone was $500,000.
That's kind of so okay. So destruction of property, $500,000.
Yeah.
Death of a human being.
Second degree murder,
plus 5 manslaughter charges, $600,000. So there's still some definite.
That's the total of 6 people, 6 police officers, with about $600,000
compared to one guy who broke a window in a cop car.
This is according to Larry Wilmore. I trust he's done his research. You can look at that episode on thecomedynetwork.ca.
Yeah. So this it's quite troubling, I guess. When you everyone's hailing this as a big victory because they actually got charged, they actually got arrested. But yeah, there's still that specter of
do you think
inequality between both cases? Right?
Do you think that you've mentioned this, the revolution sneaks up on you in the real do you think that's what's happening? It's hard to speculate. I think
it's hard to speculate. that like like exactly because like that's what they say. Revolution sneaks up on you, and
There's been
like
riots like this,
there has been, and there
and
was like
there's a lot.
in the '60s. There's huge riots. There was actually big riots in Baltimore in the '60s about like the social movement to for the right of black people to
We'll have to look into.
not be segregated and not
Well, yeah,
and to vote.
and at the same time in Canada, there's been workers' rights riots for a long time too. I mean, look at if you look at Timmins here and Sudbury and all these mining areas, they had to they did the same kind of thing, protest. I don't know if I would go as far as riots, but quite possibly, like I could imagine they would be furious at one point with the working conditions that you had in the mines.
Mm-hmm.
Like we saw um, the documentary, The Whole Story.
Yeah, that's
It's
on Netflix.
it's also available in French. I forget what the name is in French, but it's a documentary about the region we're talking about, Huenahada and Timmins and
Yeah,
Cobalt and all northern
Sudbury.
Ontario, Sudbury, and it shows kind of all the what it took to get here for people in the mining industry. The conditions weren't always the greatest.
Mm-hmm. Actually, if
And
you want to be one of those union haters, watch that and you'll see the power of the union and
the
what they did.
union really made a difference in those people's lives, and I would argue because of that in the development of our region. Um,
I don't know. Getting back to your subject of revolution, it happens when people feel disenfranchised. A lot of times it happened like at the French Revolution where people felt like society was unequal, and but in that case, the royal family and the aristocrats had all the money, and people couldn't even get bread. Um, like we're seeing some pretty like I know you always say that in Canada it's not as bad, but we're seeing some pretty big disparity in the United States. When you look at neighborhoods like the one that rioted, that where Freddie Gray was from, in a city like Baltimore, and then you have like a rich, super rich class, like um, the yeah, the officers that are the only pretty much from what I've heard some testimony from people that have lived in Baltimore in that neighborhood, and they said like basically the only like government presence left in that area was police. All right, now you're putting in
hmm.
like so
Wait, what about?
like in that neighborhood or whatever
Oh, okay. What?
in
No
that neighborhood.
library, no.
Yeah, so like yeah, so it's like really like a rundown like I don't know if you watch like I'm trying to think of like a movie where you'd have like uh,
Well,
almost like when you like not to the scale, but if you've seen like the new Batman movies when you go into the underground and there's like this really shit part of town, but then you have like the really the
there's
really rich neighborhood beside them. So I don't know. I don't know if like a revolution is imminent. Like maybe these new changes, like the police officers actually getting arrested,
it's probably good.
might make a difference. But when you
What?
have a society like that, where you know it had to come to a riot for well it seemed like it because we've been seeing black guys get killed by cops and cops getting off. We've been even seeing it this year. It's been all over the news. No one rioted. Now they rioted and they finally got it. So when it takes that much to like to consider one human life just because he's black or whatever, came from a shitty neighborhood, he's been arrested or whatever, I don't know, like you're gonna have some pissed off people. And
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that. There's like, it's hard to say. I think we're gonna see a lot of change. There's gonna be an election here soon, and there's gonna be an election in the states um, coming up. So right now we're in an electoral kind of
oh yeah, the campaign started.
bandwagon on both sides. So we can't really see the true
um,
colors, of what's going on in the politics. It's all there's a mask around it right now because of the election.
Here's one one thing that I will say, our elections in October 2015.
Yeah,
British elections going on this month, I think, in the UK.
it's soon.
American elections are in 2016. Um, if people don't start seeing real change, we're gonna start. I think we're gonna start seeing more.
You gotta get out and vote. It's important.
Yeah. Well, it's important. It's step one though. You gotta be involved. You have to be at least, even if you're
I
not
wouldn't.
involved, you have to be at least educated. That's you have to like you. It's your
Responsibility. It's your civic
never
duty.
mind right. It's your responsibility. Like when the best thing for a dictator or any kind of government that wants to run their own agenda is to have people that
Don't care.
that don't care, that don't know what's going on, and that don't let their say be known, like that don't let what they think be known.
But again, that kind of brings you back to social media because now, in a way, it's look at least on the local side with the Timmins, Ontario page. Um, there's more involvement. There's more. You know that the city's kind of watching it, or at least the mayor's kind of watching it. There's what's going on in there. So there, I'm sure there's conversations on there that the city's not part of, but I'm sure there's people at the city that are working there and that keep an eye on that. So it's a good place to post your ideas. Try to be constructive though, as there's no point in bickering around. And it's easy to get caught up, trust me, once you get started on one of those conversations. But it's like I say, a good place to express your ideas.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, it's like, yeah. I mean, getting involved. That's just something you can do. Like just the cleanup of the city. Even that, I'll guarantee you, makes you feel closer to where you live. Makes you really appreciate the downtown more. And instead of like, I'm guilty of it too. You walk down the street. I even walked by Gillies Lake the other day, and I'm like, wow, it's fucking dirty, whatever. It doesn't take long. You just clean up a little bit. You do your own little part. Hey, you might even influence someone else to do their part, and even if not, whatever, you've done some good, and that's just one little thing that you can do in your community. You can go to the council meetings, or you could follow Q92, or I think some of the Timmins websites that have a live blog of what's going on.
Oh, a new website launched by the city this week, last week I believe, learnintimmins.com. It'll show you all opportunities to learn, whether it's a workshop, whether it's even classes at Northern College. There's classes by Algoma U through Northern Colleges in French too, Université d'Arts at Timmins, and Collège Bayard and all that. That's all on there. Workshops, like I say, check it out. learnintimmins.com.
Right on. Well, I think
that'll do it for us for this week. It's good to see you guys.
Hey, did we have something else on the list?
Did we have anything else? Well, we already said bye, but I guess use of pepper spray.
OnePlus. Oh, whatever. We can talk about that next week, I guess. Let's just get.
Oh, all right. 2 topics for next week. We got the use of pepper spray and the OnePlus One.
So I guess we keep the Baltimore/Montreal thread going for another week.
It's important,
and it's an important thing going on in our world. And
no, don't forget to tweet at us. We're at Fortier Bros, and you can leave us some YouTube comments, and give us your feedback. You guys gotta get engaged. We want to talk to you guys.
We want to hear what you guys want to hear about. Hear our opinions. Like we're just regular dudes.
We'll read your Twitter comments on the air. Well, you want to see what's going on.
Get your unicorn pictures, whatever the hell's going on, man. You don't have to be from Timmins too. I wouldn't mind hearing news from somewhere else.
Yeah, you want to call us from Germany or Belgium or Ireland
or Chilliwack
or in Moncton. Maybe if you're out in Moncton.
You guys know who you are. You better be listening.
Or even in Ottawa, guys. Ottawa. I miss you guys in Ottawa. Those of you listening. I know there's a few of you listening. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.